Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have exit signs. This backrooms footage has a date and time stamp of June 14th, 2007 at 9:23 p.m. and the video shows someone strolling through the hallways with only the sound of their footsteps to be heard. They come to a wall and they have the option of either turning left or right, and they choose to go right. You can see on the wall as they walk down the hall there are signs with an arrow that suggests an exit is that way, but if you know the backrooms, you know to never trust an exit sign. They continue to follow down this path until they meet another fork in the road, but it appears as if at the end of each hallway there's a door. Could this really be the exit? As they approach the door, a sort of buzzing sound grows louder and louder, but when they reach the door, the tape cuts out.
Coming in at number 9, we have the tombs. Here's the thing, if someone invites you to go into a tomb, just say no. Say, this is not for me. I'm not a tomb kind of guy. I would prefer to hang out on the surface and look at birds, because this next video is exactly what can happen when you agree to go walking in some tombs.
But he soon begins to panic. He runs through the maze of tunnels and his breathing gets heavy. As he is running, you can hear and tell the man is freaking out. He then drops the camera in the water and is seen running away out of frame.
So that is some footage that was found in the Paris catacombs. If you don't know what that is, it's a series of long maze-like tunnels that are underneath Paris. They are filled with the remains of thousands of people, and there are areas in these tunnels that have never been explored. There have been reports of some people living down there, and even massive secret raves that take place down there. Some suspect that there could be some sort of creature that lives in there and feasts upon the people who get lost. In the video, it seems that the person recording got lost and starts to panic. It also seems like they're running from something. There is no idea who filmed this and whether or not it's staged. To this day, this video freaks me out every time I see it.
In our number 8 spot today, we have audio missing MP4. This footage doesn't have any eerie, buzzy sound. In fact, it has no sound at all, but it's aimed at showing the transition from our real, tangible world into the world of the backrooms. This person starts out in what looks like a grassy field, but at one point as they go to touch the grass, they sort of fall through and are now stuck in the fluorescent mono yellow world. They start walking through the maze of rooms, but at some point there's a cut in the video and they aren't moving anymore. After a few seconds, it becomes apparent why. A tall creature walks into frame slowly. It likely already heard this person searching around, or maybe it even heard their fall into the backrooms. Either way, just a couple seconds after this creature walks into frame, the camera shuts off. It's anyone's best guess as to what happened next. In our number 7 spot today, we have Backrooms After Hours. This is a video that might just show what would happen if you were to no clip out of reality at night. This backroom footage is dark, which is quite a contrast to the mono yellow tone we're used to seeing in the backrooms. There is one light, however, and it's a sort of flashlight that whoever is recording is using to look around these dark rooms. The field of view is limited, which only adds an even eerier nature to this already creepy place. While watching this video, it definitely is a creepy experience. The good news is that there is no jump scare waiting to happen. Instead, in this video, the horror comes from just waiting and almost expecting one to come, but it doesn't. At least not in what we get to see. In our number 6 spot today, we have dancing. Considering the fact that the backrooms are said to be approximately 600 million square miles, it is highly unlikely that you'll run into another person or creature, but when you do, you know it can't be good. This video starts off with the person recording creeping out from behind a wall. They see some kind of a thing in the backrooms dancing. It's human-like, but definitely moves a bit strangely. They tuck behind the wall again before going out to capture the dancing creature once again, and that's where things take a bit of a turn. I can't do it justice by explaining it, you just have to see it for yourself. Listen, I know this is like the Rickroll of backrooms footage, but I'd be lying if I said that this one didn't actually get me. I should have been expecting it, but I wasn't. That's what I get for diving into backrooms content. In our number 5 spot today, we have the unprecedented events. This video starts off with a bit of background. It reads that the following footage was taken from a surveillance system on a blank date in the KV-31 Research Center Bay before an unprecedented event occurred. Any footage that came after after was either never recorded or was lost as other systems were nowhere to be found. Afterwards, it shows a room, but the video is clearly distorted, and then we get a small but terrifying glimpse into this unprecedented event. The audio and video gets really distorted before it cuts back to the blue screen with text. This time it reads, "As shown by this next piece of footage, parts of the research bay were later found spontaneously in completely disproportionate shapes and sizes at completely random locations. The reasoning for this entire occurrence is still unknown." After this, it cuts to a clip showing exactly that. Regular office items, but this time they're in the back rooms and they are strange. An office chair with weirdly long octopus legs, tables stacked on one another all the way to the ceiling. It's just very bizarre and very wrong. Let's just all hope that no such events ever take place, because that would be terrifying. In our number 4 spot today, we have the found footage. This backrooms footage is definitely some of the creepiest that I was able to find. It starts off as anyone would expect: the hum, the bland lighting, the seemingly infinite rooms, but this one goes on to become a little different. As this person walks through the hallways, not only can we hear a creepy sort of distorted breathing sound, but they come to find out that they might not be as alone as you'd like to be when it comes to the back rooms. They eventually come across a room that is full of strange looking mannequins. Some are missing limbs, some are on the ground, some are just in strange poses, one even has a hand sticking out of its neck where the head should be. As the person continues to walk into the next room, here they are greeted with a gigantic, worn down mannequin head. They stand there taping it in the room for a while, but right before the video cuts out, we hear whoever is taking the video gasp. Who knows what ended up happening to them? In our number 3 spot today, we have Where Am I? This video is done in the style of a phone screen recording as someone opens their camera to show where they are. Firstly, when they start screen recording, it then goes to their lock screen, which has quite a creepy and strange photo for it. Not really sure what's going on with that, but quickly they open the camera. Once the camera is open, they start showing us their surroundings, and it quickly becomes clear exactly where they are, and it's where no one wants to be. This video does a great job at showing sort of what it would be like should you find yourself in the back rooms with no prior knowledge of what they were. At first it may seem like a harmless place, but reality will soon set in. In our number 2 spot today, we have the pipe dreams. This found footage style video shows someone as they explore the back rooms. They're looking at pipes, there's a fire extinguisher, everything to convince you that you were in a much better place than you are, but before long, a very strange voice can be heard. When the camera turns around, we see some kind of an entity at the end of a long hallway, and it appears as if it's getting closer. Of course, the person behind the camera begins a slight panic. The camera turns away, but when it focuses back on the hallway, the entity is gone. The person filming begins to walk down the hallway because there really isn't anywhere else to go, and at this point, I was on the edge of my seat. They continue walking through this hallway that seems like it's never ending, and before long, the same creepy sound comes back. They start to run through this never-ending hallway, and when they turn around, the entity is back and only gaining on them. When they get to the end of the hallway, there's a door, but of course, this is the back rooms. That door is not gonna open, and now there is nowhere to turn. They turn around again, and the video ends with the entity continuing toward them. In our number 1 spot today, we have found footage number 2. Alright, there's no way that this would be a backrooms video without some content from Kane Pixels themselves, the person who is credited with bringing this creepypasta situation really back to life with their terrifying footage. This video of theirs I want to talk about today is called Found Footage number 2. The video starts out with someone in their garage and there's a square taped to the floor. They show us that anything they place in this square disappears. They are shocked and they show us a few examples, but before long they find themselves falling into the square. They have now found themselves in the back rooms, but they obviously have no idea where they are. They begin exploring through the maze of rooms and they come across a series of weird things like disproportionate furniture and the like. Eventually they come across a car that looks as though it has crashed into a wall, and after this they see a handprint on the wall that looked like it could have been made in blood. They continue through the rooms and they only go on to get weirder until, of course, they come across a creature. From here, the chase is on, but if you know the back rooms, that is a losing battle.
Starting off this countdown, we have the scary last footage. Ta oss åpne opp bagasjerommet.
This footage was filmed in 2006 and features two young guys driving along a dark road at night. At one point they decide to make a shortcut through the forest, and that's when things start to get strange. What's worse is that this is the last footage ever taken of them. It showcases their final moments, as they were never seen again. After driving for a while, they decided to get out of the car and walk around the woods. That's when they hear some weird sounds in the distance. While we never get a clear shot of this animal, it sounds like a goat or a pig. The final moments of the video show the beast chasing them as they try to get back to their car.
In our number 9 spot today, we have the encounter. This video was posted on YouTube by Sobog, and it is short, but it really shows what the energy in the back rooms is like. It shows a first-person view as they're in the back room with the ever-present hum of the lights, but something is off about this room. I mean, more than usual. And when they look up, they see that there's a panel in the ceiling that's off or crooked. As they turn around, they come to find out that this is only the beginning of their worries. Before long, it looks like the entire ceiling is coming down and the tape cuts out. This is presumably only one of the many horrifying things to occur in the back rooms. Someone in the comments also noted how the camera doesn't pan down in the last second like it dropped. Instead it goes up, almost like something yanked him up into that hole in the ceiling.
In our 8th spot today, we have the creature.
Ascolta. Mi sentono?
This is footage of what appears to be a strange creature found in a Spanish forest in 2006. The two men in the video are seen entering a forest outside of the town of Campdevànol at night. As they get deeper and deeper into the woods, they come across some large feathers. Eventually they pan over to what looks like a man huddled over with an open wound on his back. So some people say that this is a fallen angel, or maybe the feathers don't have anything to do with this creature and it's like an alien or something. I don't know. Whatever it is certainly very creepy. Coming in at number 7, we have the stalker footage.
I found this one in the grocery store. She spent a considerable amount of time picking up the finest of items. I admire someone who only wants to pick of the bunch. So I followed her home.
A couple of years ago, there was a very creepy channel called Mr. Peeper. His videos were all about him filming other people with his creepy commentary going on in the back. But as of 2019, his account and all the videos were taken down. However, they are still circling around on the web. This clip features Mr. Peeper filming one of his victims.
It is a miraculous thing to be able to watch the person you love undetected.
I literally could not sit through this whole video. It is so eerie. Like, he just finished saying that he followed this girl home and now he's already obsessed with her and in love. At one point he even manages to get inside of her home and he films it without her knowing. That's it, I am not sleeping tonight. The scariest part is that the original uploader claimed that the segments of video found on his channel were discovered on SD cards, wrapped in plastic, and attached to the roof of a car that he found abandoned in the woods. Moving on to number 6, we have the witch. This video starts with a man driving along a dark road in the middle of the night in India. As he's driving along, he notices something in the distance and decides to stop and watch it. In the distance, you can see a figure in a long white dress with long dark hair carrying a walking stick. Soon the figure gets closer and closer.
Hold on.
The man is clearly scared as this thing is coming straight to him. Soon, it's too late.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Many people believe that what he encountered was a real witch. Others say that the man's screams sent shivers down their spine. To this day, we don't know what happened to the man or what that figure is that he saw. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Don't Look Behind You. In Southeast Asian mythology, a tuyul is a spirit said to be an undead infant made from black magic. Now, they are mostly harmless, but humans can use them to do dark deeds for them. In this video, 2 people are playing guitar and singing when all of a sudden this creature appears behind them. The scariest part is that only the cameraman appears to see it. The 2 musicians have no clue what's going on. What do you think? Could it really be a tuyul? Moving on, number 4, we have the found footage from Texas. Now this video is nightmare fuel. Creepy music plays in the background as we see the cameraman filming what appears to be a shower curtain. And then take a look at what happens. A pair of creepy long bony fingers slowly wrap around the shower curtain. That's not all though, it gets worse. The footage then cuts to a weird dark figure standing outside. The cameraman slowly gets closer to the figure and then it cuts away to another figure. This whole video is just comprised of random scary clips merged together. Some people have felt sick watching it. Others have gotten bad anxiety attacks and have passed out from getting so dizzy. Apparently, this footage was found in a box at an estate sale in Texas along with other pieces of junk. When the person played the tape, they were horrified. In our 3rd spot, we have Don't Do Drugs. Now, I really didn't know what to title this video. It seems like everyone took a bunch of drugs and then decided to film a weird commercial. It is so bizarre, it has had to have come from a parallel universe. Take a look for yourself.
This is tasty. Yeah.
What is it?
It goes on, and it's quite disturbing. Now, I did do some research on this video. Unfortunately, I was not able to figure out where it came from. So if you have any information about the video, please let me know. Anyways, this video gets so bizarre that it looks like it's trying to hypnotize you.
Did I say honey? Repeat my mantra. Ham.
Somebody please tell me what's going on. Was this a real commercial? Or a weird art project? Or is it from a parallel universe? Or all of the above? In our 2nd spot today, we have Kirby the Clown.
Your dad keeps a gun in the house. Your dad's got a gun. Your dad's got a gun in the house. Guess who's got it now?
If you have a fear of clowns, then I sincerely apologize. I can't even explain what we just saw, but it is undeniably freaky. Footage of this clown can be found on the YouTube channel Kirby the Clown. And all the videos with this clown are pretty much just disturbing, if not more. Like this one.
I've got a secret, secret, secret. I've got a secret. Your mom's already dead.
It always features the same clip of Kirby the Clown, but the voiceover changes every time. I'm telling you, this is the definition of a cursed video. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Lending You a Hand. This video starts off with the cameraman exploring a creepy old house, and he is visibly scared. At one point, hands start appearing from the ceiling, and they try to grab him. Then hands start appearing out of the walls and under the door to the room, all trying to get to him. The video ends with this demonic jump scare. Did it make you jump? It got me, because I was not expecting that. But how creepy is that? Imagine living in a parallel universe where arms can appear randomly and attack you.
Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have this abandoned mine video. This tape comes from 1998 when some teenagers went snooping through an abandoned mine.
Got some pipes. Oh, wow. We have to climb that.
Yeah, don't everybody get up.
I got you.
You're gonna be the lucky one to fall.
This is going to America's Funniest when somebody falls. That's a good idea.
They are searching around and eventually come to an area where they need to use a rope to drop down to the level below. The boys believe that their plan is foolproof and that they'll all climb down the rope, and then when it's time to leave, they'll all just climb back up the rope. The first friend, named Adam, goes to climb down the rope when they all suddenly come to realize that perhaps this was a terrible idea. They obviously didn't secure the rope enough, and Adam ended up falling 65 feet down.
Oh. Adam! Oh, Adam!
He was knocked unconscious and obviously injured, but luckily his friends were able to call for help. Adam had to wait several hours in the dark before being rescued, but it certainly could have been much worse.
In our 9th spot today, we have the tape glitch. So according to Joaquin Baldwin on YouTube, in 1994 he brought his Sony VHS-C camcorder with him when he went to go visit his cousins. When he went to convert the VHS footage to digital, he was completely shocked at what he found. The footage showed stuff that he had not recorded. The video starts off with what sounds like someone screaming, and continues to show weird clips that he doesn't remember. It left him, his family, and the viewers completely confused and unsettled.
In our number 8 spot today, we have this arsonist video. This video is definitely dark and just very disturbing. It's a video of an arsonist who has just lit a huge fire. He stands a decent distance away, filming the fire and commenting on his work, and man, did it ever give me the chills. It's obviously someone who is very proud of the destruction that they are causing. You can hear the fire truck sirens in the background as they're on their way to the scene, which honestly just adds another layer of creepiness in my opinion. The fact that he is willing to stick around and film this definitely increases his chances of getting caught, but I also feel like it shows just how badly he wants recognition for his insane crimes. Watching this video honestly made me feel like I was on Criminal Minds and that I needed to profile who this insane man is.
Coming in number 7, we have Creeper in the Bank. With so much of the world working from home and needing to do Zoom calls all the time, this next clip is gonna have you looking over your shoulder every time you're in a Zoom meeting. That's not what you want creeping around in your house when you're not looking. And the sad part is that this guy looks like he was actually enjoying himself very much on that computer call. Little did he know he was about to get devoured by some alien intruder that wants to wear his skull as a hat. Now, I don't know what the aftermath of this video was, so if anyone knows if this guy is still alive and kicking or if he got turned into a lampshade, please let me know in the comments below.
In our number 6 spot today, we have a plane crash video. This video comes from August of 1984, and it starts off fairly normal and is just showing the view as a pilot named James Jeb Cadell flies a plane through the air over some rolling hills that look pretty green and filled with trees. There isn't really any audio other than the loud sound of the plane's engine, but at a few points the pilot begins speaking to someone else. The person he is speaking to is the only passenger on the plane, and his name is Ronald Hugh Wilmond.
Oh, look at that down there, Ronnie, on the left. Nice little lake and a cabin.
They continue flying around, not a ton of talking, but just a few little tidbits here and there. As it turns out, the density altitude conditions of the day weren't really taken into account and caused things to take a turn for the worst. James tries his best to get away from the rising terrain and stalls the airplane 3 times in his attempts before it ultimately crashes. This tape was found hanging in the trees by backpackers who stumbled upon the crash site 3 years after it had occurred. It is super scary to watch, and it really shows how things can change in an instant.
Coming in at number 5, we have missing Australian teens. This was a huge story in Australia just a few years ago. There were 4 teenagers who went out together one night and they never came back. There was a massive search to try and find them, but there was no luck. Eventually, everyone lost hope and there was little clues as to what could have happened to these kids. The only piece of evidence that ever popped up was a tape that was found months after the boys went missing. It was taken by the 4 boys and it was an 8-minute video of them driving around until they pulled off on a dirt road to go explore an abandoned hospital. Here's some of that footage.
I have lost her. How dark is this place?
It's suspected that these teens could have gotten lost in the woods and maybe died from exposure, but they did cross into some land that said private property, no trespassing, so it's possible that they were confronted by someone who might have killed them. To this day, it is still a mystery.
In our number 4 spot today, we have a creepy stalker video. This whole video is about a minute long and is one of the scariest videos I've ever seen in my life. While the video itself doesn't show anything super crazy, it's the story behind it that is cruel and gruesome. This video was taken by a stalker before he ended up taking the life of his victim. Her name was Lauren Giddings and she was a 27-year-old law student. She unfortunately ended up crossing paths with this absolute psycho who officials believe was on his way to becoming a serial killer. He took this video before entering her apartment and it is him creeping and peering into her windows. Like I mentioned before, the video doesn't show much other than the fact that this guy was obviously very disturbed.
Coming in number 3, we have the Paraguay home video. Well, this video is bizarre on several levels, and it's not just the video itself, it's all the stories that go along with this video. First, let's take a look at what the video is. Now this was filmed in the 90s and then popped up again on the internet, and the whole thing is like this. It's a bunch of strange edits and grainy distorted footage. It jumps around from place to place, and that's not even the weirdest part. The strange part is the audio that you can hear in the back of the video. It sounds demonic, like there's some sort of creature trying to communicate through the video. But that's where the creepy stories start. There's a list of people who have said they've heard hidden messages through this video. Some people say they see a demonic figure pop up only to have it disappear when they rewind, and there are even stories that people are brainwashed by this tape to do evil things. There isn't any hard evidence to prove any of this stuff, so right now it just stands as an internet urban legend.
In our number 2 spot today, we have this grave robber video. This video is taken from a VHS tape and is basically just an almost 30-minute long video of some guy explaining how to rob a grave. This is obviously an incredibly messed up thing to be doing, let alone teaching other people how to do it, but what adds an extra layer of creepiness is the fact that he is absolutely manhandling what seems to be a very real human skull throughout the video. He also shows other bones during his explanations.
They look great, and if you also get the leg bones, it'll look even better like this. With both of them, alright? Like that. They look beautiful.
I really wish I never had to sit through an entire explanation of all of the gritty details on how to rob a grave. It is a little too in-depth for me, and the fact that this guy has dirt all over his face really drives this one home for me, as if he had just finished doing exactly what he is describing. He also explains how to ensure that you don't get caught, since this is of course very illegal.
Let's say you robbed there are 5 graves, alright? Alright, for the first one you might be able you might get caught, alright? But if there's witnesses for the rest of them, you will get caught too. Why? Because they're gonna blame you for it, right? Because they caught you for this one, that means you most likely did the rest of them, and the judge will say it was you.
All in all, I think I'm gonna stay far, far away from this guy and his creepy collection.
Coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the Grizzly Man tapes. I want to start off this one by saying we will not play the tape for this one. It's much too gruesome. If you want, you can go look it up yourself, but I will tell you that it can be very scarring. These tapes were the last thing left behind by Timothy Treadwell and his girlfriend. Timothy Treadwell was known as the Grizzly Man. He spent 13 years in and out of living with bears, which for most would sound like the most terrifying thing you could imagine. But for him, he wanted to show the world that you could live with bears and they were not an animal to be feared. Well, even though he was able to spend over a decade in their presence, that would eventually lead to his death. Timothy was making a documentary about bears, so during that time, he was filming. One day while he was with a grizzly and his girlfriend, the bear turned on him and killed him and his girlfriend. You can't see what's happening, but you can hear the audio.